Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Johnny. And we feel...
Our humble abode.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Perfect time for me to get a phone call. I'm not answering that. There we go.
It's just me.
Dan, this sucks.
Son of a bitch.
Tell me I'm beautiful.
Dan, this actually sucks. I regret this decision.
Yeah, no, I think it was the library. My order's in. Well, thank you for having us here, man. This is
the first of many, hopefully.
Yeah, man. This is.
We already hit the hot buttons tonight. What the topics of choice?
Oh, we've been talking about the coronavirus.
We're just catching up.
Washing your hands and touching your face. That's
so basically what we've been taught to do forever.
Yeah,
exactly. We just have to put into practice now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. What we've been told to do in the washroom, but like any like Leafs game, like people are just pissing and leaving, right?
I don't need who to come into my life and tell me not to lick shit on the TTC.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
That's just
what, you're telling me this is wrong?
Yeah. If the seats weren't so flavorful, I wouldn't do it. But
they are.
That's I can't help it. So,
well, Dan was like searching through Reddit and the top story. We were like trying to pick like a top story, and that was just all just cats and coronas and
it was like pictures of cats
beer.
like riding dogs and coronavirus and the
cats and
the
dogs
election
living together. The coronavirus.
Yeah, giving each other the coronavirus. It's crazy. So, did you ever see the final episode of Dinosaurs?
I did not. Though once again we may have it. So the potential is there. I've just never lived up to my potential, apparently.
So it was a sitcom about what?
About a dinosaur family.
Honey, I'm home.
But blue collar. It was basically Roseanne meets the Flintstones.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're dinosaurs.
Yeah. There was a baby, there was a mom, there was like
just dinosaurs?
No, they're just dinosaurs.
Just dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I have an image in my head, and I think that's what you guys are talking
you know
about.
what? Look at the Ninja Turtles poster right there.
Yeah.
Imagine those, but like dinosaur costumes. It was like that quality of costume.
I think I know what it is. Then,
And then
I've seen memes about it.
And then it's a TV show with that. Live action.
Oh, that just reminded me of, you guys ever back in the day have dinosaur eggs, the candy?
Yeah.
And they were in the black box just with like the dinosaurs popping out. They look like little dinosaur eggs, but they were badass.
I forgot about those. Yeah.
I had a lot of dinosaur cereal growing up.
Well, we all did. I feel like, I don't know if irony is the best word, but I think like no matter what happens to our societies, like cockroaches, stainless steel, and God knows the only things. And Keith Richards. Yeah. Keith Richards in a stainless steel suit of armor riding a giant cockroach.
He will be our new king.
But however, like anytime the inception of dinosaurs are brought in, I think they're the one thing that has captivated every generation as cool. Yeah. No matter what age or no matter what decade, dinosaurs are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I think they will always be.
Yeah. Even space couldn't do that. Like they when Challenger went up, they're like, "Hey, we need to make it cool." I know. Let's send a school teacher. They put the school teacher in.
It's just
Challenger,
the magic school bus,
and they just sent her up, and then it blew up.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, "I'm not going to space ever." And then they're like, "Oh, dinosaurs, cool."
Yeah.
Then Jurassic Park came out.
Oh, changed everything.
Yeah.
93?
Yeah.
93.
93, yeah.
I was lucky enough, a cousin of mine, more like a brother, like my mom's sister, my aunt, I'd go and stay with my aunt and uncle and my cousins a couple weeks, and man, he had all the toys, like the consoles and whatnot, but so happened that summer, what movie came out? Jurassic Park. I believe we saw it 2 or 3 times that summer, and it still holds up. It still really holds up.
We were talking about it last time, and from a, like, we were comparing Jurassic Park to Jurassic World movies, and Jurassic Park still is scarier and looks better because they had the dinosaurs actually there.
The practical,
Spielberg,
yeah,
the practical effects.
Practical effects always.
Spielberg kept it very dark, So you couldn't see that it was fake, right? Like you'd see the T-Rex, but you wouldn't see all of it. So it just looked very real.
And even in the iconic Jeep chase scene, like rainy and whatnot, like
the rain. Yeah, exactly. The rain. Yeah.
Somehow showed you everything, but still made it.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't see everything.
Yeah.
And then Jurassic World's like, here it is. We're all like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
to me, my dream ambition of modern film, and nothing against everyone doing it at all levels, be it majority CGI, be it majority practical, like nothing against the artists like making these movies, is as many practical effects as you can, and just even if you go back to frame painting or whatever, just subtly round it out a little bit. I think there's room for both, and even like from blockbuster to indie, I think that's acceptable. And
sure,
that's like comparing like the original Star Wars trilogy to the prequels. Like, you know, the original trilogy had a lot more practical.
Yeah.
And then, so that might have aged a little bit better than the prequels, you know?
That's why I liked Rogue One, because they used a good combination. There was some, like, CG.
Rogue One, I'm sorry, might, and slap correct or castrate if wrong here, might actually be turning into my favorite Star Wars movie, period.
I'm with you.
I love newer movies, or be it from original creators, directors, writers, or not. I love those movies where we get to see more of the lore and the inner workings of these ships. Basically, you're showing me a World War II, probably at that time, like a Pacific battle in space, and just obviously what they could do comparatively. Inner workings of the ships, the bomber scenes, like the bomber runs, like my God, what a great movie!
Over Scarif is,
and the tone was so different from the other films too. It's just, it felt,
and
it's a war movie.
It felt more there was more stakes, and there was just you knew what was going to happen.
It was almost that hostage fandom where you know what happens, you know how it's going to end.
Show us,
but you're still just like, no, like, look out, by rooting for the little guys, and not your fairy tale ending, because that fairy tale ending has already been shown and written. It's like when they talk about those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the original movie, you got to see what that was. And Rogue Squadron, 10 out of 10, would recommend.
I honestly, I can't stand when people are like, Star Wars is Jedi and Sith. That is Star Wars. I'm like, then you obviously don't enjoy the lore of the extended universe, because it's not just Jedi and Sith. It's the little guys. Star Wars.
I want to know, about the foot soldier. I want to
That's why
Rogue One
Mandalorian
gave me so much
was so
of that.
cool, and that's why a lot of people didn't quite like the Disney trilogy movies, right? People liked the Mandalorian, and then Rogue One was amazing. I even liked Han Solo. I thought it was a great film.
I've had call it a problem. I almost have the inability to dislike a movie. Because I'm just like, I'm watching it. There are now with like flick culture where it's just like, no, I don't like it. What's next? What's next? I almost have the inability to dislike a film. I can objectively be like, okay, that's not a good movie, this and that, but so that tenfolded with getting more Star Wars, I'm just like, I can't hate it. I actually want to revisit like 1 through 3 to watch again, because I got to see I didn't see episode 1, but 2 and 3 I saw it in theaters as an adult, as we had grown up with Star Wars, and I believe we're like, I'm 36. Are you guys roughly
35?
I'm 27.
Okay, so you were coming in where you had the original, but you got the Star Wars. We were at that kind of the void of Star Wars, where it was only the original carried over, and which we loved and cherished, but we didn't really get new content other than like books or extended universe.
Comics and stuff.
So now I'd like to give an appreciation and a rewatch of the once again only on VHS and all the subsequent games that followed.
Yeah.
Though one of the best in between points of that N64 is Shadows of the Empire.
Such a good game.
It is so good. We
Rogue
have it
Squadron.
now. I lucked out. I had a good feel the one day and went to Valley Village and looked in there like
The Force was with you.
It was that day. But yeah, in their little glassed-in area of we know what we have.
Yeah.
Ton of N64 games and Nintendo games in there, and I was just like, all those, I'm buying them because. But in them, it would have been a Star Wars fan. Got Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron, I think Star Wars Racer, and maybe one more. But
The Pod Racer one?
Yeah.
Shadows of the Empire, though, it was, I believe, my second N64 game, and it held up. What an amazing game.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal game.
And they kind of not ported, but they made a remake on the GameCube. And I remember that game was awesome. Like Rogue Squadron on the GameCube.
Shadows?
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah,
We're talking about
yeah.
Shadows
Oh
of the
shit,
Empire.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
He listens, I assure
What's-
you. Yeah.
what game was
The
that
Shadows
one?
of the Empire was a third-person perspective. You play a bounty hunter named Dash Rendar.
Like a new
So it was a
protagonist,
story.
just like
Yeah.
Oh.
you're in these places like Tatooine and like you're in a lot of the places, but just as a new character.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
In the universe, and they
And
just
it made
did
some
such a
things
good
so
job.
scary. Like you fight against an ATST,
And the
sorry.
Wampa,
And the
like,
Wampa,
but on
yeah.
on like cliffs, like human wide, like you're
Yeah.
just. I remember I had my Seeker as the one where I just like inch as far as I could close to them across the canyon and just keep shooting my Seeker missiles.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot of it. Fun fact about so you got Racer, right? If you plug in two controllers in a player 1 and player 3, I think, you can recreate like the arcade experience where you like have the shifters and like
There's no world in which I'm talented enough to like.
you use two N64 controllers. Yeah. Now this is pod racing. Like it's. Oh my god, it's so much fun. But yeah, Shadows of the Empire is one of the best games I've ever played.
And only got better. I'm not sure the newest I've heard is ridiculous.
Yeah, I really liked it. And that was
Like Battlefront 2.
No,
yeah.
that was-
Jedi
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, yeah.
Yes.
But
Sorry. Yeah.
Battlefront 1 and 2, like, thanks be to Couch Co-op, like,
Yeah.
laugh out loud, like, cherish moments, like, and it is funny, but any gamer knows it as a true fact of years passing and just, like, still making jokes and having memories of video game moments with friends, where you're like, the hilarity or the victory or whatever, like, they are part of our stories from playing. But Couch Co-op, you just said it, I'm a moron. Battlefront 1 and 2. Some of the funniest things, like my brother being like pinned down, like in the hut on, was it Tatooine? Or regardless, he's in there surrounded by like stormtroopers, and out of nowhere, like his point of view, and we're still split screen. All he sees is like plasma cannon fire and whatnot, and he's like, "What?" And then looks out and sees like player one, like where you can hop. Like, you can hop in the vehicles and do these things. And,
Right.
I might be the first person to ever say that the next-gen Battlefront wasn't good. No, I'm just joking. Everyone has said that. But honestly, Couch Co-op, any devs out there, we still want Couch Co-op.
Oh my god, do we ever?
But we want you to all buy your own consoles, all pay for your own online subscription, and buy the games.
Well,
we don't want Couch Co-op.
If we want to follow suit to be it cable, telemarketing, phone, and everything else, it's like you're making the same mistakes again, and you're doomed to repeat that history of like, but no, here's how we make more money. It's like, well, then you're already a precursor to failure, because we still hold a loyalty to the experience over the monetary expenditure, and we always will, and that's something that will never change amongst gamers.
Control.
Yeah.
I mean, why do people think that the Super NES and the NES Classic Minis
And why are they
sold
still
so
great?
well?
Why is Pitfall still one of the greatest games ever created?
There you go.
Why
And
can I still
GoldenEye,
play
why are
Pong
people
with?
still playing
Thank
Mario
you.
Kart?
And
I think because they didn't have the graphics, so they had to rely on the gameplay.
It
the
almost-
gameplay had to be perfect.
it was almost a more talented artist working with a much smaller canvas.
Exactly.
And maybe not the readily accessible tools.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like you had to be great on all levels, as opposed to the overcompensation of, well, the graphics are great, so we don't have to develop the story.
Exactly.
Or the story is great, the game will carry itself. But
Yeah.
sorry, I better get relevant over here at the bar.
Alright.
But
Go do your job.
Good
It's nice
chatting.
talking to you.